So for today's How Do We video, we're going to look at interactive whiteboard Jamboard. Now, if you're not using Jamboard yet for your remote learning, this tool is an absolute winner. So come and have a look at this one and we can see how you can use Jamboard effectively in your remote classroom. So, we're going to use Jamboard today as part of our remote classroom. It's an interactive whiteboard and it's fantastic for interacting with your children, for collaborating on projects, for gaining ideas, for feedback, for responses, for anything that you can think of that you would use your whiteboard for in the classroom. So to find Jamboard, there's two different ways you can do it. You can either search for Jamboard in Google, okay, and once you've searched for it, you'll get the top hit there, or if you go to your waffle on the right hand side, scroll down and you should see the Jamboard icon just there. So if you click onto Jamboard, that will then take you through to your home page. Okay, so you can see here on my Jamboard all of the different jams that I've made so far. Okay, so anything that you create will always be stored there and you can use it again in the future. So to create a new Jamboard, okay, simply head to the orange button in the bottom right hand corner, click on New Jam, and that will then open up the interactive whiteboard for you. So we're going to talk through some of the features of Jamboard. It's very versatile. You've got lots of different things you can do with it, and like I said, it's very helpful for gaining the opportunity to collaborate with your children in the classroom. So we're going to have a look down the left hand side first, okay, at the toolbar and the range of different tools that we've got. So the first tool that we've got is the pen tool, and next to the pen tool is a small arrow. If you click on here, okay, then you'll get the option to change it to a marker, to your highlighter, or to a brush. We've also got a limited range of colours as well, so if you wanted to change the colour then, okay, it will change, and then you can write on the screen in front of you as you would with the children. Probably easier to write if you've got a graphics pad or something similar, so you can actually model the handwriting, okay, but it is there then as an option. If you've done drawing and writing all over the page and you want to clear it all very quickly, just hit the clear frame button at the top and that will clear the whole page for you, ready to start again. So from here then you've also got the eraser tool, so if you want to make small adjustments to the things that you've written on your page, just use the eraser tool to do that. You also then have the select tool, so if there's any icons or images or sticky notes on the page, just make sure you're on the select tool and you can move them around. So they're the basic tools. Now this tool, the next tool is the tool that I find is really cool, and that's the sticky noting tool. Now if you click on the sticky noting tool, you get the option then to pop sticky notes up onto your whiteboard or your jam. So you can be working on this at the same time as your children. Okay, there are a limited number of collaborators, but usually a class size you should be okay. And what you can do on the whiteboard is whether you've posed a question or you want them to generate vocabulary or anything along those lines, they can then begin to sticky note their ideas. So they can pop in their ideas. So for example, if you're looking for nouns or adjectives, they could put in their idea. And what I tend to do then is ask them to put their name on the end of the sticky note, so that when they go up onto the board, you can respond to then each child individually and give them their feedback. Once they've typed in the information that they want, they can change the colour. So you've got a range of different colours here that they can use. And once they're happy, hit the save button and that sticky note will go up onto the screen. So if you're doing a collaborative task, what you'll start to see then is this page will start to fill up with lots of different sticky notes. And what you can then do is you can move them around and so on. So then you can group them together or separate them or show contrast between different types of words. It's a really versatile tool and I'm sure you'll have fantastic ideas of how you can use it. If you want to get rid of them, you click on the three dots, you can edit it, duplicate it so you've got more than one, or hit the delete button so it disappears completely. So the sticky note tool for me is an absolute winner. I love the sticky notes, and like I said, it gives you the opportunity to get feedback and do that AFL in the classroom live and in the moment. The next tool that you've got is the add image tool, so you can click onto the add image tool, okay, and this is where you'll get a range of options like you do with most Google applications. You can upload one from your desktop, you can pop in the URL of an image, you can take a picture, you can search for something on Google Images, so car, just because I've done that as well, okay. So if you find your image, click on the one you want, and then click the insert button. That will then be in your jam, okay? So when it's inserted as an image, it can be moved around, okay? It can be rotated, and it can be made bigger or smaller. So you might want to be making a mood board with the children, generating ideas for a technology or an art project. They can be gaining pictures and popping them up on here as well. The other tools that you've got available to you are the shape tools on the bottom. So you've got the circle as the generic one, but again there's a small arrow to the right of it. If you click onto here, you get a range of other options. So if you want children to highlight things by putting arrows or whatever, whatever shapes you'd like, you can do so. Again, they rotate. You can change the color of them by using the fill tools at the top, okay, on the outline, and it gives it then a bit more ability to be customized. So that's the shapes. And then the final tools that you've got are the text box. So pretty standard. Click on the text box, type in the word that you, third time lucky, type in the word that you want, and then you can change the size of it by looking at the style buttons just up by here, okay? So if you click on here, you can change it to a subtitle, which makes it bigger, title, display. So I tend to put my questions in as a text box. Again, you can change the color, and you can change the alignment of it within the box as well. So the final tool that you've got available to you here on the left hand side is the laser pen. So if you click on here, the children will be able to see you circling and highlighting things, and when you let go, the laser disappears, so it's not being added to the picture as an item of the page. So again, it just gets the children to focus on specific areas of your Jamboard when you are presenting or talking with them. So there are the tools that you have available to you on the left hand side. So to clear the board down, I've hit the clear frame button, and the next thing we're going to talk about is the background. And the background is really, really important, because if you have an image or a stimulus you want the children to talk about and you put it in as an image, okay, that image will be movable, the children can click on it and can move it. However, if you set it as a background, it will sit behind the text and the sticky notes, and it won't be able to be moved. So we hit the set background button. You can see there's a different range of backgrounds that you can use, such as lines, graph paper if you're doing maths, okay, blackboard, blueboard. But the last option is the image option. Now if you click on here again, just like before, okay, you can upload your own image, and there are so many people out there on the internet who are creating Jamboard templates. There are images that you can put in the background. So if you're looking for something specific, check those out, download them, and then upload them into your Jamboard. Or you can go to Google Images or your camera or whatever, search for an image. So go for car again, or Carol Vorderman for some reason. We'll put Carol Vorderman in just because she came up. Set as the frame background, and then what will happen is Carol Vorderman will sit in the background then, and she can't be clicked on or moved either. Again, to clear the frame, you can clear it if you have text, or if you go back to the background, you want to change your image. So we'll try and put a car in now. Okay, so we'll get the car from cars here, change the background, and in it goes. So you could use this as a stimulus. You could ask them to describe it. What can they see? What colours? What types of materials might they be using? So it's a really good, like you would do in classroom, way of generating the ideas from the children. So that's kind of your way around Jamboard in terms of its tools. In terms of the navigation, okay, there are a set number of slides that you have available to you on the screen. So at the top here in the center, you can see at the moment I've got the frame bar, and if I click on here, you can see that I've just got one frame. So to add more, simply click on the blue button, and that will get you your next frames, okay. You can get a maximum of 20 frames within a Jamboard, okay? So you've got quite a bit of room to work with. If you've got a small class or you're working in groups, perhaps you could give a frame to each child. There's lots of different ways that it can be used. Okay, to get rid of them or to simply duplicate them, 3 dots again, duplicate or delete. What the really cool thing is when you're working on Jamboard is that when you are logged in and you've got other children on, their little circles will appear above the slides that they are on. So say for example you've given them the instruction to move on to slide 2, click on here, you'll see all those children that have moved across, and then you'll be able to give those who haven't a little nudge to come across to the correct slide. So it's just a handy little tool there to use when you're teaching and presenting. The final and most important thing to remember when you are sharing your Jamboard is to make sure that your Jamboard has got editor rights on. If you share it as a view only, your children will be able to see it, but they won't be able to edit and actually add anything to the board. So you're going to head over to the share button in the top right hand corner. So once you're here, you'll need to change the link so that anyone on the internet with a link can view. So you can post that link to your children, and when they click on it, they'll be able to see it. The key thing that you also need to make sure is on is that when it's on, you need to change the viewer to the editor option. So when they're up on the editor option, like I said, they'll be able to join the board and edit it when they arrive. Simply then copy this link, slam it into Google Classroom or to Teams or to Dojo, Seesaw, whatever it is you're using, and the children then will be able to click on the link and be taken through to the Jamboard. They may or may not need a login. If they do, they can use their hub ones if they're in Wales, okay, because it'll take them through, or if they've got their own school domain like mine, then you'd be able to do exactly that. So there we have it in a nutshell. There's Jamboard. It's a fantastic tool for collaboration and for getting the feedback from your children on your lessons or for any work that you're doing. Please check it out. I'd highly recommend this as a tool for your toolkit in the remote classroom.